Gupta. Um, Shruti, I want to ask you that, of course, given the ongoing tensions in Gaza, how delicately now must India frame its public messaging?
Oh, the Gaza bombshell is very volatile world over in terms of diplomatic speak. We've always maintained that this two-state theory is the correct answer to the problems. We've also condemned any actions that lead to death of civilians as regrettable, and while we stand with Israel and Jews in general, because they are a very soft target for radical fundamental groups to go after, we do not expressively go against Iran, who has these non-state actors in their axis of the Shiite axis that works inside the Middle East. So in this context, as Group Captain has already mentioned, that the byproduct of any association with Israel is that you have street protests happening in your own nation in the name of Palestine. So we have to be very careful on how we progress. There is an FTA, as I said, there is already under discussion. I believe it is going to stay in discussion till tomorrow in New Delhi from 23rd to 26th. So with Israel, so while we are trying to deal with Israel, there is also a BDS motion, which a few of our own influencers in Bollywood celebrities are trying to propel through their own word of mouth. There is also there's a mixed messaging coming through where UK does not support Israel's stance towards Iran. It does not support USA's stance towards Iran. So while there is tensions in the Middle East, while there is a Gaza component, while there is a Palestinian question hanging, India needs to weigh how we represent this particular meeting. We know what we want out of this. This is a trade, defense, economic cooperation. This is a meeting of like-minded civilizations. These groups are targeted for their religious identity. India's majority of Hindus as well as the Jews of Israel face world over problems by radical Islamists, and that is something that brings us closer together as nations, as civilizations, as well as democracies. So while we do have common components, we need to be very careful on how we present the joint statements where these mentions of Gaza, Palestine are put up in the most diplomatic of terms, so that the internal dynamics of politics inside India doesn't get disrupted, while we do not incur the wrath of the Arab nations with whatever we end up saying. So the byproduct of association with Israel is watching every word that comes out of your mouth.
All right, we do have Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta back with us, but I want to first go across now to Group Captain UK Devnath. Group Captain Devnath, this is a very, very important point, and Shruti is, of course, very rightly called it the Gaza bombshell. I want to come to you with the same question. How delicately must India frame its public messaging now, given the ongoing tensions in Gaza?
Yes, Vaishali, we have to walk what is called a very, very delicate path. India has been favorable towards Palestine for last 60-70 years. If we remember Yasser Arafat and PLO days, India accorded PLO full recognition. Yasser Arafat was almost treated like president of an independent country in India. That relation with people of Palestine still remains strong bonding. The delicate balancing has to be acted out, say on things like India's role in Gaza Peace Committee. Donald Trump is very keen. Probably Prime Minister Netanyahu will also speak to Prime Minister Modi that India should actively become a member of Gaza Peace Committee. India has watched the development so far with an keen eyes. The last meeting, we sent one of the observers during meeting. We are a little apprehensive about joining Gaza Peace Committee because it looks as if it is bypassing United Nations. Also, it looks as if Gaza Peace Committee is a private enterprise of Donald Trump. Most important, we would not like to participate in Gaza Peace Committee in any manner by which Arab sentiments are disturbed. You see, as such, this hexagon alliance, which lot of not exactly pressure, but definitely Israel Prime Minister will try to influence India that we should join hexagon alliance. The entire alliance has got certain amount of anti-Shia or anti-Sunni bias, and India in no India will definitely not like to commit anything in immediate near future for this alliance, because we don't want to disturb the Muslim countries, especially countries which are around Persian Gulf. Um, Definitely, it is a very walking on a thin ice when it comes to hexagon alliance as far as India is concerned.
All right. I do have Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta back with me. And Ambassador Gupta, we've discussed defense, we've discussed technology. But there's another important question which is related to the itinerary that PM Modi has, which is coming to my mind, which is about his visit to Yad Vashem, which carries deep symbolism. Now, I want to tell our viewers what Yad Vashem really is. Now, it's located in Jerusalem, viewers, and is Israel's official memorial to the victims of the Holocaust, established in 1953 to commemorate the 6 million Jews murdered by Nazis and their collaborators. And of course, Ambassador Gupta, I want to ask you that what diplomatic message does the visit send out to Yad Vashem?
Visali, this is very important. You see, Iran has been threatening Israel all the time that they have no right to exist. Now, we have good relations with Iran. We have civilizational ties. We also had a lot of energy relations before the sanctions were imposed. And so we want to tell Iran also that they should not do this kind of thing, because Israeli people, particularly Jews, have suffered a lot in the hands of Christians and subsequently in the Second World War. And by paying a visit, PM is very clearly saying that this kind of Holocaust, this kind of attack on humanity is not acceptable anywhere. We should respect all human beings irrespective of their religion, their nationalities, and this would be the message which will be going out from that place. But I wanted to complete my earlier point on this issue, that we want to have good relations with the Arab world, with the Gulf Cooperation Council, with Israel, and also with Iran. And this is a very I would say practical issue which we have taken up all the time. The Arab foreign ministers met in Delhi 2-3 weeks ago. That was one point. Then we supported Iran in National Human Rights Council, and we are closely tying up with the UAE, particularly UAE President was in Delhi very recently, and we have very close ties with Gulf countries where almost 2 crore of Indians are working and living. And then with Israel, we want to have what we call technological collaboration in the defense area, in agriculture, and in intelligence sharing. So all these things are part of our strategic autonomy, and we want to have good relations in all these sectors, and simultaneously we want to promote IMAC, and we want to use Chabahar in Iran as well to promote our ties with Central Asia and to promote our ties with Europe. So this is the holistic approach of our foreign policy, and we have succeeded in that. And we may call it multi-alignment, but it is working and it has served our national interest. And I'm sure this visit to Israel will further add to this content and help us in getting new technologies and further Atmanirbharta in our defense technologies as well as in intelligence gathering.
All right, I request my guests to stay on with me. And now CPIM leader